So let's come to sitting in Sukhasana. So cross your shins. Move the flesh of the backs of the buttocks back, so you're right on the sitting bones. Press your hands down, sit tall. And keeping this lift, fold your palms. Close your eyes. Feel a softness in the skin of the face. And notice that your gaze is gently resting back and down into the chest. So there's a presence in the whole of your body. And the eyes are steady. Notice your smooth inhalations and exhalations. And then silently utter your invocation, your intention for practicing this evening, for learning yoga. So just aligning yourself with the why of the practice, the why of the learning. And keeping your heart lifted, bow your head down and rest your hands. Open your eyes, raise your head up. Let's begin with Adho Mukha Virasana. Adho Mukha Virasana. Seated, kneeling, forward bend. So sit on your feet with your knees apart, stretch forward. Minimal support if you can. Close your eyes, there's nothing to see. Extend your arms. Roll the biceps up. So you're turning the arms from the inside out. The upper arms turn from the inside out. Firm the triceps to the bone. So you're lengthening the inside of the arm as much as you're lengthening the outside of the arm. And then see if you can lengthen the front of your body. So from your pubis to your navel to your breastbone, as much as you're lengthening the back of the body. And then come up and Parshva. Parshva meaning side. So the same pose, you can stay in the same angle that you were, but I'm facing you so you can see. So your feet are together, your knees are apart, then you turn towards your right leg and then stretch along the right leg. Parshva to the side. Try to keep the buttocks down as much as you can. And come up and then over to the other side. So turn your body and lengthen along the left thigh. Turn the navel. Extend the left side. Even breathing. And then come back to the center. And then Adho Mukha Svanasana, turn the hands outwards so that the thumbs are pointing forward, so that the arms turn outwards. So the bicep, which is that muscle there, which is on the inside, rolls more to the ceiling. Yeah, so if you just flex your arms and make like a Popeye thing, that's the bicep. So when you straighten the arm, try not to let the bicep hang down, but roll it up. And then firm the outer arm to the bone. So don't let this area be soft. Can you feel that in your own arm? Okay, so place your hands, thumbs forwards, turn your hands out, and then go up into downward facing dog pose. So you're rolling the arms from the inside to the outside. Press the thighs back. Move the hips back. Roll the crown of the buttocks to the ceiling. Alison, make sure you're long enough in your stride, so maybe take the hands a little further forward or the feet further back. Louise W., you're opening your chest, your armpits well, but it's slightly higher up that's not moving so much. Can you feel that? So see if you can move the middle back in. Rolling the crown of the buttocks to the ceiling. That's it. So slightly less possibly with the chest and more higher up. And come down. Then let's stand. Uttanasana, feet as wide as the mat. If you've got back difficulties, stiffness, then you could start with Ardha Uttanasana, so hands to the wall, feet hip width apart. So you're getting the extension of the trunk. Otherwise, work with your feet as wide as the mat. Take the outer edge of your foot to the mat and then extend forwards into concave back. So use the blocks as you might need so that you can get this concavity where we're trying to get length in the front of the body as much as the back of the body. If the back is rounded, then the front of the body is getting shortened. So as you press your hands into the blocks or the floor, try to lengthen the front of the body. And this is helped by working the legs. So draw the muscles of the legs up, move the inner thighs back, and spread the backs of the thighs away from each other. Keep lifting up the kneecaps. Extend forwards. And then keeping this length, keeping this work in the legs, take your hands to the floor beside your feet and extend your trunk down, trying not to let your hips swing back. Keep spreading the soles of the feet. Hands back by the sides of the feet, out on the outsides of the feet. Hopefully most of you will be able to touch the floor. So blocks are really just helpful for the concave backstage. Keep drawing up the frontal thighs, release the head. Spread the back. And then firming your legs, inhale and come up. So let's stand in Tadasana in the center of our mats. So we'll go into Trikonasana, classical, without any props. And we'll just see if we can take our hand to our ankle. So of course we need to cut the buttocks in, but try and get a little bit more movement in the hip. So bring your hands into your chest, bend your knees, step or jump wide. And take the legs a little wider if you tend to be a bit on the narrow side. Press the heels down, spread the feet. Feel the outer thighs lifting into the hips. But at the same time, have this sense of connecting from the hips back down into the heels. Then from the chest, stretch to the fingertips. Turn the left foot in very slightly. Take the heel in and the toes out, so the alignment is heel to arch. Rotate the leg, cut the right buttock in and extend to the side. Place your hand on your ankle and stretch straight up to the ceiling. Bring your weight onto that right big toe and cut the buttock in. Press the left heel down and press the thigh back. Extend from your right waist to your right armpit. Lengthen your trunk away from your legs. Exhale. Inhale and cup. The other side. So legs wide, right leg in, left leg out. Check that the heel is in line to the arch. Press the center of the right heel down. Press the thigh back so that you get a spreading in the back of that thigh from the inside to the outside. And go to the side. Hand to the ankle. Spread the back of the right thigh from the inside to the outside. Holding the ankle with the left hand, roll that shoulder back. Move the left shoulder blade in, and then extend the top arm up. Lengthen your side trunk away from your legs. Lengthen that bottom waist. Good. Cut that left buttock in, head back, don't lean forward. Then exhale, press down, inhale, come up. Toes forwards, eyes forwards, arms wide. And then join together. So Ike, if you could just shift your camera so it's not mirroring, that would be really helpful. It's just, sometimes it goes to mirror and it's gone to mirror today. It just makes it slightly easier. So we're going to do the same pose again, but we're going to go back to, we've been working on this slightly different alignment where the heels are to the left foot heel is to the back of the mat. And the right foot is now to the front of the mat. And I've turned the foot out and I've rotated the thigh. But what we've got to be careful is that we don't hang this hip forward. So we want to keep the heel down, the shin pressing back and the thigh back and get this spreading in the back of the thigh. And then we extend to the side. And what's nice about this is you'll be able to hopefully feel that this right buttock cuts in really well. And then you get this rotation in the trunk and this really wide, long torso. So let's have a go. Have your left foot to the back of the mat. Step the right foot forwards, turn the leg out. Stretch your arms. Notice how this hip can tend to drop in this moment. So be careful, don't do that. I tend to do that. So you've got to really grip this left hip in. Rotate the thigh out. Press the left thigh back and extend to the side, moving this left hip towards the right hip. Cut the right buttock underneath you. Lengthen your side body. Spread that top chest. Broaden that left chest, as if you're leaning the top shoulder back against a wall. Inhale, come up. Turn your feet forwards. Carefully join your legs. And then we'll go to the other side. So stand to the back of your mat. Then step your left foot forwards. Turn the toes out. So you're getting this good rotation in this leg, which is helping you to cut the buttock in, but is also helping you to bring this portion forward. Then again, be careful that we're not starting like this. So we've got to grip this right hip in. So move this area in. There should be a little dent. Press the thigh back. Inhale. Exhale, extend to the side, gripping this left buttock underneath you, moving the tailbone into the body. Lengthen your side trunk. So be careful that you don't just end up leaning forwards with the body. Try to feel what this alignment's giving, which is this openness in the pelvis. So project the pelvis forwards. Take the top chest back. Legs straight. Inhale and come up. Turn your feet forwards and step or jump your legs together. Then look straight, eye level, be in Tadasana. Try to lengthen the inner arms just as much as the outer arms. Lift the crown of the head up. Now Parsvakonasana in the same way. So if you want to have a brick, you're going to put it, we're going to put it actually just next to the foot. So if the alignment is 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, this brick is still here. And the knee comes in line with the ankle. But it's what this gives us is this ability to move the tailbone into the body, to move this buttock under us as we go to the side. I've got to be careful, I'm going to squash my little device. So we're going to keep the arm down to begin with so we can get this work here. Okay. And then we will take the arm over, but I want you to have the arm down to begin with, just so that you get the work in the pelvis. So put your brick or a couple of blocks on that right side, and let's stand over here on the left. Be in Tadasana. And then step that right foot to the front of your mat and turn the leg out. Again, be careful that you're not dropping that hip. So you've got to really grip this hip in. Then stretch your arms wide. Exhale, press that left heel down. Press the left thigh back. As you bend the front knee in line with the ankle. And Marilyn, if this is too strong for the knee, do the normal alignment. Then extend to the side. Take your hand to your brick next to your shin or slightly back from the shin and move the sacrum forwards, especially this right side. Move the tailbone into the body. Press this left thigh back. Spread the back of the left thigh. Spread the ball of the left foot from the big toe to the little toe side. And then extend the arm over. Don't lose the work in the pelvis. Rotate the left waist back, spread the top chest. Keep lengthening the underneath chest though. And then press your feet down, come up. Turn your feet, join your legs and move your brick over. So those of you who've got difficult stiffness in the hips, just take a note as to whether this method is actually helping you. So turn the right foot in, turn the left leg out, because sometimes these methods, although they can be good for everybody, sometimes they can be a way to do it most of the time for some people, because it's going to really help them with an area they've got stiffness. Stretch the arms, make sure you've moved your brick. Again, don't drop this left hip to start. I keep doing that. Don't copy that bit of me. And press the outer edge of the right foot down. Press this thigh back. Spread the back of this thigh. Exhale and feel that rotation. We're lengthening this left inner thigh, but be careful you don't over lengthen it, so the knee is still in line with the ankle. Descend the middle of the thigh down, then reach to the side, take your hand to your brick, and move the sacrum into the body as you extend the arm towards the foot. Move especially the left side of the sacrum in. Move the tailbone. Bend the knee there, Alison. Legs wider. Go low. Go low, and feet apart, further apart. Go low, Hilary. Try to get the middle of the thigh down. Spread the chest, moving the pelvis forwards. Then extend the arm over. Much better. And come up with your inhalation. Turn your feet and then join your legs and come back to Tadasana. Spread the soles of the feet. Move the sacrum forward. Spread the backs of the thighs from the inside out. Roll the frontal thighs from the outside in. Lift the front of the pelvic rim up. Lift the armpit chest, extend the arms down. Eyes steady, don't look at the screen. Virabhadrasana 1, move your brick away. Grab 4 foam pads. We're just going to do a brief exploration of how we go deep into the pose. Now it's handy if you can have your 4 foam pads pressing up against a cupboard or a wall, because it's a little bit more stable. It does work in the middle like this, but it's just, you know, it's potentially less steady, but it still works. So you're going to be back. The first thing you're going to do is this position, which feels quite weird because you're standing on the left leg, but your right leg is extending forward and your body's upright. So it requires a lot of work here, which we will explore. And then keeping that work in that standing leg, we then bend the knee to 90-degree angle. And if you might have seen, I just put my hand on the wall there. So if you're recovering from illness or stiffer, you know, it's quite nice to have a wall there to help you to go into the pose and to balance. So I quite like having the wall there. It's quite handy. So if that's your configuration in your room, then go for it. Don't worry if you don't. It's a handy, not an essential. So face your blocks, have your feet together. Turn the left foot out about 30 degrees, and then place your right foot forward. Take care. Place the foot on the blocks. And then straighten the leg. And lean, almost lean back, so your weight is on your left foot. Hands are on your hips, just for convenience. And extend that right foot. Notice how the weight is rolling onto the little toe side. Bring the weight onto the big toe side as well. Notice how the back thigh might be slightly bending. Press the thigh to the ceiling. Then pressing that left thigh to the ceiling, raise the arms up to Urdhva Hastasana. Lengthen the inner arms. Lengthen your waist. Keep that feeling of stretching up, then the left thigh pressing back as you exhale and bend the knee to a 90-degree angle. Descend the middle of the thigh down, but keep that left thigh resisting back maximum. Arms back by your ears. You can have your arms out wide if your ceiling is low. And then come up, change sides. So if you don't have 4 blocks, a little stool or a coffee table or a sofa would be fine. Just make sure it doesn't move. But it shouldn't be quite as high as a chair, because a chair would be a bit too high. So step that left foot back, right foot back now, and raise the left foot. So a bit further back there, some of you, because I'm seeing it sort of looking a bit like this. So that's not going to be far enough, because when you bend the knee, that's not a 90-degree angle. So you're going to need to move that leg further back. So it feels like you're almost doing the splits with this leg really reaching forward as if you had diamonds on your toes. Suck the leg back into the hip socket. Draw this sitting bone back and press the left thigh back. Then extend up. Lengthen your waist. Extend the inner arm as much as the outer arm. Then keep the right thigh back. Bend the left knee. Descend the middle of the thigh down as if someone's sitting on it, as if you've got a child that's just been plonked on your thigh. Ribs back, waist back, wrists back. Chest up, left leg straight. That's it, well done. And then straighten, bring your arms down, straighten your legs, join your feet, and then move your blocks out of the way so we can see if that's helped us. Go down in the mid thigh in our Virabhadrasana 1 with the front of the pelvis lifting, because there's a sort of a stickiness, the relationship between the thigh and the tummy, they tend to go together. So we've got to try to bring the independence of the trunk away from the legs. So we're lifting up here and spreading here maximum so that we can go low, but the body's still upright. So let's go to the right. So let's steady ourselves in the center. Tadasana. So for warrior 1 in this way, I think, where would we go? Menstrual practice, I think Parshvottanasana with the hands on blocks and then the head down. I think that would be better than warrior 1. Definitely, I would prefer that. Or Ardha Chandrasana. You can choose either of the two. Ardha Chandrasana is nice because the sacrum will move in really freely. Okay, the rest of us, bring your hands into your chest, bend your knees, step or jump wide. Then take your legs a little wider, unless you know that your feet are past. Look at where your feet are. The feet should be wider than your distance of your hands almost. That wide. Now firm the legs, sacrum in, pelvic rim up, turn the arms. So what are we doing with the arms? We're turning the upper arms from the inside to the outside. So now our Popeye muscle, our bicep, is definitely facing the ceiling. Now keep that as you extend up. So keep the position of the upper arm as you bring the arm straight up. Turn the left foot in, turn the right foot out. Keep turning the pelvis, turn the chest, and bend the front knee. Descend the middle thigh. Resist with the shin so that the shin presses back. Draw the outer right thigh back to the hip. Face quiet, eyes steady. You're a little wide, I think, Ike. The shin is not vertical. Bring your feet a bit closer together because you don't want to drop the leg, don't want to drop the pelvis. Bring your feet a little closer. And come up. Other side. So turn the right leg in, the left leg out. Turn to the side. So it's an interesting one, isn't it? It's like how far is too far? So we've got to really work on pressing this right thigh back so that it doesn't come with the left leg. So again, there's a stickiness. Don't let the right leg follow the left knee. So press the left leg back, the left shin back, the left heel back as you bend. Sorry, press the right thigh back, right shin back, right heel back as you bend the left knee. Then lengthen the inner left thigh and draw the outer thigh back to the hip. That's better, Ike. Yeah, go down. You can go down, keep going till the shin is vertical. Yes, and then press the thigh to the ceiling, back thigh to the ceiling. And then exhale. Inhale, come up. Turn your feet forwards and step or jump your legs together and be in Tadasana. And then take your heels very slightly out. Stretch your arms by your side and now spread the backs of your thighs, the gluteal crease, the backs of your thighs, spread. Spread the sacrum, move it into the body as you press the thighs back. Feel the breadth in your lower back, extend your arms down. Then interlace your fingers. So keep all of this really broad. Interlace the fingers, roll the shoulders back, stretch the arms down. Press the thighs back, sacrum in, extend the arms down. Change the interlace. So this is Salabhasana, stand like a Salabhasana, standing up. Toes in, everyone, heels out. So it's not feet apart, it's feet together, but the heels out. Feet together, and the toes are touching, and the heels are out. But grip the outer shins in. Lift the front body, shoulders back. Breathe into this space. And then release. So this brings us to lying down Salabhasana. So what I wanted you to notice was how much one has to keep the breadth of the thighs, but we're going to point the toes straight back. And then we're going to interlace the fingers and raise the legs and extend the arms back. So the legs are not like coming really high up, they're going long. So first of all, just lie down with your head on your hands and let your ankles relax out to the side. So if you're menstruating, I think now's a good time to sit in Virasana and do the shoulder extensions. So starting with Parvatasana and then Gomukhasana. So I don't want you to do forward bends yet because you can stay with us for a bit longer. So those who are on their tummies, let the thighs roll out, sacrum broad. And then extend, so keep that breadth of the backs of the thighs and the sacrum and the lower back. And now stretch the toes straight back and bring the ankles in so that you're not with the heels out anymore, you're extending straight back. Then take your hands behind your back and stretch your arms down. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest off the floor as you raise the legs. Keep the legs straight and stretch the legs back, make them really long. Interlace the fingers and draw the arms down the back, down the buttocks, and lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, lift the face. Lengthen the front body and then release. Rest for a brief moment and change the interlace. And then again, stretch the feet back so the ankles are moving in towards each other. Notice how the legs roll, the ankles roll out. So really grip them in. Then reach the arms back, lengthen the front of the body and raise the legs. Lengthen the front body, breastbone forwards. Lift the legs, press the thighs up. And then release, fold your arms and rest your head, ankles out to the side. Paschimma Namaskar, Ray, when you're done. Okay, and then everybody, you're going to, in a moment, kneel up without kneeling forward. So push your hands, actually maybe just go into dog pose. Oh no, don't do a dog pose. So just come up onto your hands and knees and then reach your arms to the ceiling so you don't do a forward bend. And then bring your arms down, good. Okay, and then just sit, because it's so tempting to do a forward bend there. Okay, so just watch here. Whilst you're watching, come into Paschimma Namaskar. So making good use of the moment. Press the hands together. Dig the fingers into the back. Remember, with this pose, one can tend to pull the elbows back, but try not to do that. It's the shoulders that need to go back. Shoulders back, chest up, and now see if you can do this bit. Press the elbows towards each other. And then you get this real stability. Elbows towards each other. Feel the breath in the chest. Keep your eyes steady, looking straight ahead. Don't look at the screen, actually. Let's just be here. Then without shaking your arms, stretch the arms down. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. So from here, we're coming into Dhanurasana. So we stretch the tummy along the mat. Then we reach back and catch one foot. The other hand is in Chaturanga. We pull the foot back. So I'll show you on this side. We pull the foot back and lift both sides of the chest slightly up. But we're not lifting the knee off the floor. We're just getting used to this movement. And we're using the hand so that we're not tipping. So that's stage one, feeling that relationship between the foot and the chest, but the sacrum is down. Then you're either going to repeat that or you're going to hold the ankles. You take the feet back and take them up. And then lengthen the armpits forwards, keeping the knees parallel. Over to you. So lie on your tummy. So you could probably see how the first time I did it, it didn't come. So sometimes it's better not to stay, but to come down and go up again and come down and go up again. So if you don't feel that you have to stay in the pose, you can come out and then go back in. But we're doing one-sided at a time to begin with. So those who are menstruating, we're going to do chair back arch in a moment. So if you feel up for chair back arch, you could set up for Viparita Dandasana, but you could have your feet higher up on a support so your feet are apart. If not, you could do cross bolsters like yesterday. Okay, so Chaturanga position with the arms. Then Bending the right leg, catch hold of the ankle, not the toes, the ankle if you can. So you're pushing, you've got to lift your chest though, because if your head's on the ground, it's going to be hard to catch hold of the foot. So press the left hand in, the right hand into the floor, whichever hand you're doing, I don't mind. Let's say we're holding the right hand first. So press the left hand into the floor and reach back and catch hold of that right ankle. Lift the chest up. You've got to lift the chest, otherwise the ankle's going to feel really far away. Roll the shoulders back. Good, release. Other side. So this is not Bikasana. It's preparation for bow pose. Now hold the ankle, press the other hand into the floor. So you're lifting that side, and now pull the foot away from you and let that pull the chest up and take the shoulder back. Go and press that right hand down into the floor so it helps you to lift the right side of the chest just as much. Hand on the floor, not the forearm. Good. And then come down. And then just fold your arms, rest your head. So be careful that it doesn't end up that you're bringing your foot towards your buttock. Try and get it so that the foot is leading and bringing the shoulders back. So you're going to either repeat one-legged or you're going to do both legs. You can choose. So bend up both of your legs or one of the legs, catch hold of the ankles, and then draw the legs back. But if you're holding both feet, you're going to add the bit where you're going to lift the feet up. Lift the feet, to lift the thighs, to lift the chest. Sacrum down, chest broad. Draw the feet away from you. You can come down for a moment if you need to and then go up again. Make sure that sacrum's going down. Caroline, I'm seeing some kind of a gap under your pelvis. Maybe it's your trousers, I'm not sure. There's a gap. I would want to see a gap. No gap underneath your pelvis. Press the pelvis down into the ground. Project the pelvis to the ground like we were doing in the standings. And then lift up. Finish both sides if you've been doing single-sided. And then once you've done again, rest. Fold your arms. That's it, well done. Good, good work everyone. Rest your head. And now roll those ankles out. Spread the backs of your thighs. So we're going to continue with one more back bend. So again, we're not going to do a forward bend at this point. So if you can come up to kneeling, but not kneeling forward, then I'll show you what the next posture is. So it's working with a chair, creating the same shape. But I know that a lot of you don't have yoga chairs, and I wouldn't advise really working with non-yoga chairs because they can be a little bit light. So you're going to, yeah. This is not quite, it's not quite the same, but I think it's all right. It's all right. So you're going to be sitting up on the chair, and then you're going to learn what it's like to go down to the floor with the shoulders. But you're going to take your hands underneath your feet. So you're pressing, if you can, most of you it will be hard. Even I can't really hold the ankles, not with the blocks this low. So we're going to hold the ankles, and you're going to press the elbows down, press the shoulders down, and lift up higher than the blocks. But if you can catch the ankles, but as you can see, if I catch the ankles, I've got to really, my shins are leaning, aren't they? They're not straight. I've got to really work to bring the shins up perpendicular. Oh. So that's the option without the chair. So if you want to crack on with that, Then lie down, just rest for a moment, and then have your blocks beside you.
Sarah,
So
would it work if I bolster on top of the blocks to make it slightly higher?
Yes, you can do cross bolsters. That's a good question. So if you've got a bolster, then you work with 2 blocks and a bolster right in the middle. Let me just adjust my camera actually, so you can see more clearly. Then you sit to the front, and then your bum should be about in the middle. And then what's good about the bolster is you can then take the back of the head to the floor, but the shoulders are not. So that's why it's more like the back arch that we're going to be doing on the chair. So we're getting used to coiling the shoulders over the bolster, so they're not on the floor. And the thighs are parallel. So that's a really good option, best option if you don't have a chair, or if you're menstruating. Sorry for my unladylike way of getting out of it, but we do what we can in the space that we have. So this is the other option if you've got a yoga chair. So you place your mat on the chair. So carry on, you guys, if you want to do the cross bolsters, the bolster with 2 blocks. You don't need to watch this if you don't want to. So the others, let me just check there's a couple of people watching. Yeah, I think so. Okay, cool, there you are. So from here, you kind of let your tummy really relax and be long and passive. So you've got to kind of start to get comfortable with the chair. And then you press the elbows onto the seat and keep the buttock flesh long and start to coil over the edge. You go a little bit more, bring the feet closer, coil over the edge. Not much though, it's the shoulder blades. Then you catch hold of the bar just as if you were catching hold of your ankles. And then you're here. And then if you want to, you can extend, but I'm a bit of a shorty and I've gone a little bit low. So I would need to have blocks under my feet. So you got to make sure your legs are, there we go, more sacrum's more to the front edge of the chair. Now I can you see I can straighten my legs now because my sacrum is on this part of the chair. But if I go too far, then I can't straighten the legs. So you got to roll the thighs in and do warrior 1 in your legs. So then you come up, you lead with the chest to come up. Okay, so begin your poses or rest in your cross bolsters. I'll come and help what I can see. So if you're doing with the bolster, you don't need to hold the ankles. You can rest, but make sure the shoulders have not come anywhere near the ground. As I can see, mostly everyone's shoulders are on the ground. Just gently wiggle back and start again. Slide back. You've got plenty of time because the others haven't even got in their chairs yet, hardly. That's it, bum right at the front end. Be careful, Louise, your block is not in the middle of your bolster. I can't see what you're doing, Anne, but Steve, from the leg end, it's okay. Just keep your thighs parallel. So those in the chairs, once you've gone through, extend your legs and press the thighs down. Spread the back, flex the feet so the toes are to the ceiling, as if you had your heels against the wall. Now stamp the thighs down, and there you go, lovely. So those who are on the blocks, see if you can take your hands under your heels or round your ankles, and then lift your hips up. So Caroline, when you lift up, make sure you're moving your shins towards your head because your knees are sticking out quite a lot. There, that's it. Stamp the heels, Ike. It's the heels, not the toes. Don't worry about the toes. Forget the toes. It's toes off the floor, heels stick into the floor. Roll the thighs in, everyone. And those on the blocks gently come down. And we're going to gently slide out of this pose, those who are on the bolsters. So slide back, don't go to the side, slide backwards. Those on the chairs, take your hands out from under the chair, hold the top of the chair, wiggle on enough so that your knees are bent, your feet are flat, your bum is on the chair, and then lead with your chest to come up. So bum is on the chair, that's it. Make sure your buttocks are on the chair, then holding the chair, lead the chest, lead with the chest. Chest, Akiko, chest. That's it, and then just sit upright and just let the world spin for a couple of seconds. It'll soon come back to normal. Just be there, head steady, holding the chair back. Those on the bolsters, you can still be lying on your back with your legs on the bolsters, or if you've sat up and come up to sitting is fine too. So we're going to come into Bharadwajasana 1. So take your time, we're going to do it twice, each side. So once you feel up for it, start. But if you're still coming out of the previous pose and tidying up your space, that's fine. So Bharadwajasana 1, who's got a guess of what it is? Remember to have a block behind you. So sitting on a block, extend your legs, and then fold the legs to the left. And have your brick for your hand behind. Take your time, don't rush. Then be steady, feel the breadth across the pelvis, across the chest. So this is a wonky pose, isn't it? So within the wonkiness of the posture, we're tipping, we're trying to bring evenness. I think it's a great life lesson. So see if you can pin this outer left hip down. See if you can spread this thigh so that the inner groin is going down. So you're more in the center. And then extend up and turn, bringing the hands down, holding that brick behind you. Bricks are good because they stick much more on the mat than the foam pads. And if you're stiffer, you can have the brick a bit more in front, not right behind. So you can push the brick and turn rather than kind of have it so far back that you can't reach it. Let it be a gentle twist. Feel the out breath, encouraging the abdomen to turn. Turning away from the feet. Keeping the opposite buttock down. And then center, other side. So the way that we position this right leg affects the tipping, doesn't it? So if we don't really turn that leg and the toes are pointing to the side, we're going to be more tipping. So then the whole pose has got more of a tippage to it. So that's why it's quite helpful to make sure we sort the base out. So we're trying to get this foot to go straight back, toes straight back, outer shin of this leg parallel to the outer thigh of this leg. So the more we work the base of the posture, the less we need to organize of the rest of the trunk. Then have your brick, extend up. And if you extend up and you're a bit like this, then you need to sort the base out because it's not yet sorted. So you need to maybe sit up on another block or just make more adjustments. Then exhale to turn. turning away from the feet. Use that abdomen, the exhalation, to help turn. Keep the throat soft, eyes at eye level. Eyes still quiet. And center. And stretch your legs forward. So we continue with Bharadwajasana 2, which is with the one leg in Virasana and the other leg is rotated outwards like that Trikonasana action, that turning. And the foot comes up and we turn the foot to bring it to the top of the left leg and the thigh extends forward. So we imagine that our legs are really long. So this leg is extending out to there. This is extending out to there. So from here, we then lift and turn. Again, we've got that spread and turn across the belly. So if we haven't done much specific preparation for Padmasana, so if that's too much for you, then you can just have the foot on the floor like this. So you still get the breath, but just make sure that you don't let the leg go with you as you turn. Got to keep that right sacrum into the body. So roll the right leg out. Sorry, we've got to do the left leg if you haven't done it already. So take the left leg back into Virasana. Roll the right leg out. Keep the knee low, lean forwards. Scoop the calf, slide the foot to the top of the left leg, knee to the floor. Extend the leg. If that's not possible, if you're not getting it in a comfortable position there, then have it on the floor. Alternatively, if it's pretty much okay, but it's floating, then place a support underneath the knee and the shin. And then turn away from your feet. So this is perhaps for Nikki, maybe you'll be doing this kind of Janushirshasana or half Baddha Konasana action with the foot on the floor, knee out to the side. But when we turn, same for you, Anne, when we turn, keep the leg there. Don't let the leg go back. Turn. Feel how, because we've got this leg in this open position, there's more spread in that belly as you turn to the right. Lift the breastbone. Exhale to turn. Turn away from the feet, Julia. Well, you can turn towards the feet, but it's nicer to away from the feet. And then center. And extend your legs. And the other side. So fold the left leg back, right leg back, rotate the left leg out, scoop the calf, turn the foot and bring the foot to the top of the leg. I mean, I actually find it slightly easier to do this sitting on the floor. So those of you who can easily sit in Virasana on the floor, you may actually find it's better for you on the floor. And then again, try and keep your evenness, be on both sitting bones, and then turn away from your feet. Get that exhalation across the abdomen, away from where your heel is. Move the navel in and turn the waist. Not a big twist for today, just gently getting that release. Spread the elbows wide, lift the breastbone, eyes steady. And center. Then carefully lean forwards to release your leg. Extend your legs. So Upavishta Konasana. So Marilyn, we're running out of time for you. So you could do this Upavishta Konasana, maybe lying on your back with your feet on the wall. So bum on the ground, legs up the wall, but wide apart. So you just get that lovely bit of aeration, that coolness that comes from this position. Because we've done a lot of hot poses. And then you could bring the legs together in a moment. So this is kind of your lead into your relaxation. And then maybe later on when you've got time, you could do a kneeling forward bend. So the others be in Upavishta Konasana, legs wide. And then keeping the heels where they are, lift up slightly and just bring the pelvis slightly forwards and press the inner legs back. So this is pressing back and you're bringing the pelvis, but it's not just the pelvis, you're gripping the outer thighs, outer shins, and the sacrum forward. So you're lengthening the inner leg a little bit more. Let the spine just ascend without any effort because the legs are doing the work. Okay, so to come forward, you've got to make sure that it's coming from the pelvis, that we're not just letting the pelvis roll back and the body arches forward. So keeping the grip of the sacrum into the body, grab whatever you can that's near you, which gives you a little bit of height and also a bit of slide. So you can keep the outer hips pinned down. If you want to do this to a bolster ray, that could be nice because of those twists. So just rest forward onto the bolster, head on the bolster, and just let your belly rest. Would be nice. So the others slide forwards. So you're lengthening the front of the body as you extend forwards. Don't overdo. So you just do a kneeling forward bend perhaps there, Marilyn, and then do your Shavasana. But if it's just the room, you could do it in a different room. Namaste. Spread the feet. Lengthen the waist. And then slide the blocks to come back up. And then Baddha Konasana. Sorry, I think we've lost another person as well, actually. What's happened?
I've just returned with power.
You've just returned. Oh, nice to see you again, Jess. Where did you leave off? What were you doing when you left?
The second twist.
Okay, so we just done Upavishta Konasana. Just do that now, just because it's nice for the knees after the Padmasana. You know, this one. Do that one. So move the sacrum forwards, move the shins back. Oh, look, everyone's here. Good. Knees wide, ascend the trunk. So if you're a bit stiffer in the hips, this is a really nice method. Bolster, slanting block, heels up. Or a brick. Like this. So the feet are together, the knees are wide. So in whatever version you've got, whatever props you're using, try and get a sense of the shins are drawing this way. And lengthen the thighs to the knees. Sit tall. Let your eyes just look into the room, not onto the screen. Allow the spine to ascend, but not because you're trying to ascend the spine, but because you've organized the base of the posture. Sitting bones are down, thighs are extending wide, shins are pressing to the thighs. And then the same forward bending action. I just want to show you a little extra thing when we go forwards. Here, again, we got to make sure that this is plugged into the body. So when we've got our hands there, it's in. But as soon as we bring our hands forwards, it's possible that it will go back and then we'll be like that. So you've got to make sure that it's still moving in. And then when you go forwards, you almost want to go forwards, keeping that pressure so that this is still moving into the body. And then you're going to press the shins back. And then use the contact on the floor or on the brick. So if you're stiffer, or if you just want to go gently, because it's pretty strong on the sacrum. So if you've got vulnerabilities in the hips or back, let's have a bit of extra height for your hands. So Steve, be careful because of your flexibility in the pelvis. So try and just get that feeling of the sacrum moving into the body and the groin softening as you extend forward. And if there's not much forward movement, then you could turn around and take your arms up the wall or onto a chair or just sit straight. Better to be like that than to sort of round the back, especially after the back bends. Good. And then inhale to come up and malasana. So kind of basic setup will be your 3 blocks like this. And you sit up on the high one and bring in Dandasana. Then you bring the heels to the lower one and stretch forward. So the sacrum's plugged into the body, abdomen's lifting, and you keep it plugged in as you extend forward. And if you wanted to have bricks to begin with, you could extend forwards to bricks and then down. But if you can get the feet on the floor, please do. Don't be up on a height unnecessarily because it's not going to give you the stability that you need. So press the heels down and go forward. And then you come up the way that you went in. So if you're kind of borderline, maybe just use a folded mat rather than a massive block. So heels up on the support, that's it, and stretch forward. Yeah, that's it. Knees apart, reach forwards between your legs. Roll the thighs in towards the armpits. Hands to the floor, body forward, or hands to the blocks, body forward. Let your back broaden. Keep pressing the heels down. Hands to the floor or the blocks. Body down between the legs, back spreading. Exhale. Then inhale, stretch the arms forward, squeeze the legs together, and then sit down and extend the legs forward. And then we'll come into Paschimottanasana, straight leg forward bend. So if you're stiffer, do sit on extra height. And then have your strap for concave backstage. And then rolling the thighs in, lengthen the flesh of the abdomen along the thighs. Lengthen the side ribs towards the knees. Lengthen your breastbone towards the center of your shins. Spread the elbows wide. Lengthen the crown of the head forward. Let the spine nestle into the body. Don't be in a rush to get the head down. So try and lengthen the front of the body as you go forward. So take whatever height you need. Feet hip width apart or wider if you're stiffer. Use a chair. Or if you feel, no, this, I don't want to do straight leg forward bend right now, you could do standing straight leg forward bend. Or just stay upright for now. Exhale. And then inhale and come up to Dandasana. So now we're going to go into shoulder stand with normal setup. If you're not doing shoulder stand, then you can go to Viparita Karani. So 4 blocks, and then have any extra blankets. So if you're a bit stiff in the upper back, then having a blanket, a couple of blankets on top of the blocks will help in the openness of the chest. So you place the blanket so it's smooth over the lip. Have a belt for your elbows if you know that your elbows tend to roll out. Go up when you're ready. If you're menstruating, then I would probably do legs on a chair with your buttocks flat on the ground, because using a bolster is an inversion. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. So you can do with the buttocks on the ground with the legs on a chair. So go up into shoulder stand when you're ready. Then separate the legs at least hip width apart and try and move the tailbone into the body. So the middle of each buttock cheek moves into your body. That's it. And the tailbone moves in. And then press the thighs back. So they're resisting each other. And then you go up, bringing the legs together. If your shoulders have come off the blocks, then come down and go up again, making sure that your shoulders land on the blocks. Because the blocks are really helpful because they're providing a stable foundation with which you can stretch up from, where the neck doesn't get strained because it's at an angle rather than flat on the ground. So have your 4 foam pads to do the shoulder stand. If you don't have the foam pads today, then you can do legs up the wall instead with a couple of blankets or a bolster under the buttocks. So those in shoulder stand now. We're going to carry on with a few variations, but do feel free to come down at any point if you feel that you've had enough and you're collapsing. But the variations are going to hopefully help you to get more into the pose, because staying in it is actually pretty tough. So from here, Ikapada, so stretching both legs to the ceiling, lower your right leg down towards the floor, keeping the left leg stretching up. Extend through the left leg, rolling the left thigh in, lower the right leg down, and then raise it back up again. And then keep your hands into your back, lift your back up, with your back. Then lower the left leg, keep the right leg reaching up, lower the left leg down. Keep your back lifting, roll the right leg in, raise the leg up. Then Parshva, as if we were doing triangle pose. So bring the legs together, turn the right leg out and lower it down. So turn it out as if you're doing triangle pose, and then just lower the leg down towards that shoulder in a straight line. That's it. And then raise the leg up. Legs together, lift your back, use the legs to reach your body up, then turn the left leg out and lower it down in line with the shoulder. Keep the legs straight, raise the leg up. So just breezing through these, stretch both legs up. Now legs really wide, like Upavishta Konasana. You're right there, Ike. You want to just rest for a moment. Take the legs really wide, keep the outer hips firm, stretch the inner thighs. Do you want to just rest in a cross-leg forward bend? Or do you want to go back up? Up to you. Move this tailbone in, press the thighs back and bring the legs together. And see how your shoulder stand feels now. And then coming out through Halasana, come down. Steadily. Well done. Well done, Alison. That was a good timing for you. Rest the shoulders to the floor, spread the arms, move back so that your feet end up just on the edge. Knees together. Close your eyes. Let your eyes be steady and still. And then move back off your shoulder stand blocks. And then roll over to your side. To come up. And then either Adho Mukha Virasana with the abdomen supported, or cross-legged forward bend with the head supported. So if you've got a bolster would be preferable. So for those who are backs are more tender or hips are stiff, I would go for kneeling forward bend. But those who have a little more mobility, you can do either half Padmasana or Sukhasana, forward extension. Half Padmasana would be just raising the right foot, resting it to the top of the left groin, and then extending forward. It gives a nice spread. Or if it's easy for you without strain, you can come to full Padmasana and come forward. But that's just if you're regularly practicing that pose. So cross leg forward bend or kneeling forward bend with the abdomen supported. Do your own timings, change the cross when you need to. Let your waist lengthen, your back spread. If you're doing the kneeling forward bend, rest your head to the other side. Okay, so exhale. And then come up. So we're going to lie down for Shavasana. Those of you who feel that you need to recover your back a little bit longer can either have your legs up on a chair or have a bolster under the backs of your knees. Or if you've got plenty of time to continue practicing after the end of this class, then you could do single leg extensions, Supta Padangusthasana. Number one, with a belt around the foot, leg to the ceiling and the other knee bent. So you could do this first a couple of times, slowly, of course, and then rest in your Shavasana. So that's an option for those who want to continue for a little bit longer and who need to release their back a bit more, because we all have different needs and it's important to listen. And you can do it with the left leg bent even, one foot bent on the floor and the other leg to the ceiling so that the sacrum is really steady to the ground. So you don't need to have the left leg straight. You can have the left leg bent and the foot flat on the floor. This is for those who are doing the leg stretches. So take your time to complete the leg extensions if that's what you're doing. And the others lie down, bend the knees, allow the back to release. And then gently slide the legs straight along your mat. Roll your legs out. And roll the arms out. Let your body soften. Relax your jaw. Relax your tongue. Relax your eyes. Feel the aliveness of your body. Yet with quietness, steadiness. Rest your awareness on your smooth, steady inhalations, smooth, steady exhalations. Let the eyes rest back in their sockets. Down into the body towards the heart. So we feel at home here in our own skin. Relax the jaw from the ears. Relax the root of the tongue. Allow the expressions of the day to fade from your face. Relaxing the scalp. Feeling every pore open across your whole body. Supported by the ground, by the earth. Asato ma satkamaya tamaso ma jyotirghamaya mamritam ghamaya. Om Shanti. 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 Feel the ground beneath you, the space around you. Bringing your awareness to the surface of your skin. So we're still contacting our inner space. We're also gently coming back out, becoming aware of the objects in the room, the other people in the house perhaps, or the animals, or the community, the neighbours, placing ourselves here. And rest your hand on your abdomen. And roll to your right side. Bend your knees. Rest on your side. Rest your head on your arm, your right arm. And then come up to sitting. Rest the backs of the hands on the legs. Steady your gaze. And fold your palms. Inhaling, lift and spread the chest. Keep this lift as you bow your head down. And rest your hands. Open your eyes, allow your gaze to expand as you raise your head up. Namaste. Thank you everybody for joining me. Great to see you all. And look forward to seeing you next week.